set to 0. I'm going to launch that real quick. Stop the live server and open it for the live server. And now here you can see we have this image right here. If I just zoom out, and now if I hover my mouse over to it, so here you can see that grayscale is setting to 0, and this image is taking, like this emoji is growing just a little bit, like 1.3. Alright, so it's scaling, everything is working the way we expect it to work. But first of all, let me just show you we have a few things. So we are first of all selecting our button, or emoji to be precise, not a button. Emoji like so. And now here you can see we have different kind of emojis right here. I don't want to waste your time, so that's why I provided all of these emojis by myself. If you want to get some other emojis, so feel free to choose whichever kind of emojis you like, but here you can see we have these emojis right here. Alright, so now let's get into the event listeners and stuff. So we already select our emojis. So now let's just select that to the emojis you like. But here it's a few emojis right, emoji like so. And now here you can see we have different kind of emojis right here. I don't want to waste your time, so that's why I provided all of these emojis by myself. If you want to get some other emojis, so feel free to choose whichever kind of emojis you like, but here you can see we have these emojis right here. Alright, so now let's get into the event listeners and stuff. So we already select our emojis, so now let's just select that and attach event listener on them. So once we mouse move or mouse, let's start mouse over, so once we mouse over through that emoji, so what do we have to do? We want to just fire this function right here. So what do we have to do inside this function? We want to select that emoji, and we want to just change the inner text of that emoji to these emojis. We want to get these emojis like a plural, which we store inside this emojis variable right here. So we want to get that, and we want to just get a random emoji. So in JavaScript, if you want to get a random numbers, random colors, random emojis or whatever, so first of all, you're going to be just writing a math.random, and then you're going to be just writing like times whatever you want. So times, and then emojis dot length. Okay, and yeah, I'm gonna also wrap that inside math.floor as well. Okay, so just zoom out a bit, and this is how everything looks like. And now if you save our file, and now if I hover my mouse over to it, I know that was just a one-liner code, but it's now giving us different kind of result right here, and we can I know everything looks like. And now if you save our file, now giving us different kind of result right here, and we can achieve different kind of result, like we are now getting different kind of emojis. First of all, we are just attaching our event listener of mouse move, and once we hover our mouse over to it, so that event will fire and it will now give us random emojis. Okay, so that's the first project. I'm gonna just remove everything, and now let's just get into our second project. I'm going to open my index.html file, style.css file, and app.js file right here. I don't want you to write all of this code by yourself, so I've already given you a CSS. And by the way, I've already built this project, so you can check out all of this project plus 100 more projects on my YouTube channel. So I have already built like 100 projects, so that will give you huge, and that will give you a lot practice if you want to sharpen your DOM skills. So I have already covered 100 projects on my YouTube channel if you want to check that out. Anyway, so inside this HTML file, we just have our content container. Inside this content container, we have our navigation. Inside this navigation, we have a few inputs right here, like button, all of them will be button. And we just provide a different kind of values to it, like purple, blue, red, green, yellow, and teal. And we just give a class of btn to all of them, and then the same color of the which is like the value, okay, like purple, blue, red, green, yellow, and teal. So this is going to be it for the HTML. So what about the CSS? I'm going to just right click on it and open it with the live server, and this is how everything looks like right now. So what about the CSS? We just first of all write our resets, then the then we change the background color to that kind of a bluish kind of a background. Then we select all of our button, which we give this class right here, button, 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 and all of them. And we provide a padding of 10 pixel for a top and bottom. Left and right will have 20 pixel. Cursor will be pointer, like once I hover my mouse over to it, so cursor will be pointer. We remove the background, I mean like the border. We change the color to totally white. The border we provide 2 pixels solid white. We give the width of like 120 pixels. The height will be 100 pixels. The margin will be 20 pixels, and text transform will be capitalized like so. Okay, then we select each of the color like this one. So we have purple, blue, red, green, yellow, and teal. We select each of them and we just change the background color of them to like that. And finally we just have our content container. I'm gonna have to put that up above like here, and we just give them a height of 100 vh, and everything is now totally at the center. And that's why we provide this content container class to it. Alright, so we are totally done with our HTML and CSS. So now let's get into our JavaScript and provide our interactivity to it. So what do we need for this project? First of all, we would need a button and a body. So first of all, let's just get all of the buttons. So document dot query selector and all. So we have to just get all of these buttons, okay, not btns, but just a btn. So we have this button, and all of these buttons right here. Okay, so the next thing we would need is a body. So we are going to be just writing document.body. Okay, so now our selection is done. Now what else do we have to do? We have to iterate over through all of these buttons. So we want to just use like for each. So for each button we want to attach event listeners. So once we click on each button, so what do we want to do with that? So you want to change the number to be like btn dot value. Okay, so whatever the button value is, we want to change that to a number. So let's just write a value. Come on, man. And also we are going to be using change background, change background function, which we are going to be creating just in a second, and we are going to be passing that number in there. All right, so that's that. And now let's just create that function real quick. So I'm going to just create that function like change background, and it will also take the parameter of number. Okay, so let's just write a body, and the body class name will be now set to empty class because we don't want to provide any classes and stuff for the body. So now let's just use switch and cases, and you can also use if and else statement if you want to. And we are going to be working on the parameters, so like this number which is coming from this one, and we are going to be passing the button value inside this change number, unlike change background right here. Okay, so you get the idea. So now we have to write our first case like purple if the color or the number is purple. So purple like so. Oh, you know what, instead of number it should be a color, isn't it? So I'm gonna just change that to, I'm gonna hit F2. Okay, it's not taking that F2, so I'm gonna select that manually. It should be a color. I guess that color would be fine. Why the hell do I just write number? If the color is purple, so we want to just set the body dot classlist dot add. We want to attach this purple purple class to it. So, and then we want to break out from this loop, and we have this purple class right here. So right here you can see that. and we want to break out from this loop. And you know what, I'm not gonna do duplicating there. So then we have another case for a blue. So if our case is blue, so what do we have to do? We want to just write a body.classlist.add the color of blue to it, and we already wrote that inside our CSS. If you want to check that out, so you can. And then if the case is set to red, so you want to just write body.classlist.add the color of red to it, and we also want to break out from this loop. And then we have a case of green. Okay, so let's just write a green case, and body.classlist.add a green color to it, and we also want to break out from it. Then we have another case for a yellow like so, and body.classlist.add color of yellow and break out. And finally, we just have a last case for the teal color, and we are going to be just setting the body.classlist.add, and we are going to be changing the color to be teal. And let's just break out from this loop, break, and we also want to provide a default for it. So default will be just break. And now if you save that, let me just show you the coding. Or you know what, let's just test it out. If you click on it, so purple, blue, red, green, yellow, and teal, everything is working, but we have a few cases. We can also use an if and else statement for that if you want to, but I guess their switch and cases are looking a bit better, so I'm gonna just go with that. So if the case is purple, so you want to just change the background color to be purple. If the case is blue, so you want to change that to blue, to the red, to green, yellow, teal, and finally we just want to break out from the loop. Okay, so this is the second project, and we are now totally done with our second project as well. we want to change that to blue, to the red, to green, yellow, teal, and finally we just want to break out from the loop. Okay, so this is the second project, and we are now totally done with our second project as well. Totally done with our second project as well. Now let's just start working on our third project. So I'm gonna just open all of these files, and we are going to be building a feedback UI. So first of all, let me just show you the feedback UI coding. So we have HTML. So for HTML, we have a section with a class of panel container, and we also have ID of panel. Then we have our strong tag with your feedback as a label. Then we have our div with a class of rating container, and inside this rating container we just have our singular rating, like singular container, and then we have different kind of ratings for it. Like we have a rating, then we have an icon for that specific rating, and we have a small tag of unhappy, then we have a neutral, and then we have a satisfied right here. Okay, so finally we just have a button at the bottom, and the class will be button, and the ID will be send, and it will just say like send feedback. And Now if you right click on that and open it with live server, and once again I'm saying that once again, if you want more practice on the DOM, so I have 100 projects on my YouTube channel which also include all of these projects. Like I've already covered all of these projects in a real great depth in my course, like 100 projects in 100 days course. If you want to check that out, I'm just skipping through all of this HTML because I have already have a videos, like entire section of the videos on these projects as well. So if you want to check that out, that will be a great fit for you. And then we have a style sheet. So we have, like, first of all a reset, then we have a body. We just give them a color of we just change the color to kind of a blackish kind of a blue color. Then we have font family of sans serif, and we